I am Jenna Bosonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and international news headlines. Lawyers for President-elect Adama Barrow have asked the High Court to strike out or dismiss the petition by the United Democratic Party challenging the validity of the December 4th presidential election in its conduct and result. Officials of the Directorate of Health Promotion and Education of the Ministry of Health on Friday expressed concern over COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy, revealing that only 14% of the population have taken the jab. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with the Kanifing Municipal Council, on Thursday launched migration governance indicators for managing migration. Now on to news beyond our borders. Malawi's health minister has announced that COVID-19 vaccines will be mandatory for key staff, including health workers and journalists from next year. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. I am Jenna Bosonko, and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. Now, in the first hearing of the petition by the United Democratic Party at the Supreme Court challenging the validity of the recent presidential election and its result, lawyers for President-elect Adama Barrow asked the court to strike out or dismiss the petition on the grounds that the first respondent, who is the president, has constitutional immunity from civil or criminal proceedings. This report by Mamadou Lamin Choi.
From a political contest to illegal battle, the United Democratic Party, President-elect Adama Barrow, and the Independent Electoral Commission are facing off before the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, but this time around represented by teams of lawyers. This comes after the United Democratic Party filed an election petition against the IEC, alleging it of electoral fraud, and against the NPP candidate, President-elect Adama Barrow, of inducements. This does not represent the view of both international and domestic observers who declared the election results as free, fair, and credible. The Supreme Court of the Gambia now has 30 days to determine on this case. In a courtroom filled by teams of lawyers, party representatives, the Supreme Court convenes a panel of 5 justices presided over by the Chief Justice, Hassan B. Jallow. The election petition was filed on Tuesday on the 10th day's deadline set by the Constitution. Initially, in the election petition by the UDP, the sole respondent was President Adama Barrow. However, the petition has been amended to include the Independent Electoral Commission as the second respondent. The legal teams for the first and second respondents, Adama Barrow and the IEC, were apparently served with the petition late this week. In response, the first respondent today filed a motion asking the court to dismiss the suit, citing constitutional provision which states that no criminal or civil proceeding shall be instituted or continued against a sitting president in respect of anything done or omitted by him or her in an official or private capacity. Earlier to this motion, lawyer for the applicant, Boria Esture, informed the court that the applicant had filed an ex parte motion on Friday. An ex parte motion in a civil suit is used to refer to motions for orders that can be granted without waiting for a response from the other side. We are, however, unable to verify what order was sought by the applicant's ex parte motion. After the filing of 2 motions today by the applicant and the first respondent, Justice Hassan B. Jallow, however, cautions the parties that the case before the court is a matter of public interest and of importance, and given that the court is limited by time, the hearing needs to be expedited within the time frame set by law, that is, 30 days. To give the respondents time to respond to the petition, Justice Hassan B. Jallow gives them 5 days to prepare themselves. The UDP legal team and the second respondent, the IEC, are given 2 days to reply to the motion for dismissal. Before hearing the merits of the case before it, on Tuesday, the court will first hear the first respondent's motion for dismissal. Also on Monday, the Supreme Court, together with the legal teams for the applicant and respondents, will convene a conference to discuss the timeline and roadmap on how to proceed to expedite the hearings. The court has set Wednesday, 22nd December, as the date to hear the petition to set aside the election results. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Mamadou Lamin Choi there on the petition filed by the United Democratic Party. Now, officials of the Directorate of the Health Promotion and Education of the Ministry of Health Friday expressed concern over COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy, revealing that 14% of the population have taken the jab. Meanwhile, to cope vaccine hesitancy, the ministry is rolling out an intensive campaign. And Sumana Isonyasi tells us more.
Following recent reports of a new Omicron COVID-19 variant, officials of the Ministry of Health are urging the public to take the COVID vaccines. They express concern over vaccine hesitancy, which they say is thwarting efforts to combat the spread of the virus in the country. They reveal that only 14% of the population have so far taken the vaccine, statistics which they say worry them. Of the first consignment of the 51,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, about 22,000 expired unused, and 6,000 of the second consignment also expired unused. These, among other reasons, have prompted the decision to intensify the vaccine campaign. Jibril Gando, a senior official of the Directorate of Health Promotion and Education, and Sidat Fofana, program manager of the expanded immunization program, urged the public to take the COVID-19 vaccine to protect themselves.
We are not only looking at even the border community as like Amdalai, but all the border villages across the country. We have strategies that are designed to also not only sensitize those people, but to make sure that those people living around that area are vaccinated.
People are not responding. And then the vaccine is expiring next month. So government also cannot sit down and fold their hands and say, we have to sit and come up with a plan. Although that the strategy they mentioned is not the viable one for this one. But this is one way government can also demonstrate to its partner that we are doing something to make sure that the huge sum of money invested in that vaccine is not spoiled like that.
AIP officers Ajak Kande and Bainjai says this intensive exercise will include door-to-door sensitization, and went on to reveal that there will be vaccination centers in each community. They also commended the Q Group leadership for televising their staff vaccination exercise at Q City. This, they add, has encouraged many to take the vaccine.
We'll be out there in the field to conduct vaccinations. And this will go into other regions, as we said, in LRR, CRR, URR, and the North Banks. But those ones will use the normal, the fixed and the outreach strategies, not the house-to-house.
The scarcity of this vaccine, and then we want to capitalize on that and make sure that like, once we have, we maximally use it. We don't want to allow it to get expired and all those things. So that's why we are saying that like people need to come out and get the vaccines.
This new COVID vaccine campaign will begin in the West Coast region, which has been divided into two. West Coast 1, which comprises of all settlements from Banjul to Yundum, and West Coast 2, from Busumbala to Kalaji. The campaign will eventually be extended to the whole country. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News.
I am fully vaccinated, go get your jab. Now, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with the Kanifing Municipal Council, on Thursday launched the Migration Governance Indicators that offer insights into the country's strengths and weaknesses in managing migration. Babukar C has the rest of that story.
The Migration Governance Indicators process is a data collection and analysis tool that offers an insight into the country's strengths and weaknesses in managing migration. In 2015, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, developed the Migration Governance, an approach that allows a state to determine what it needs to govern migration in a way that suits its circumstances. Fumiko Nagano, the IOM Chief of Mission in the Gambia, highlighted the importance of the KMC taking the lead in building the local migration governance indicators.
The local MGI for KMC aims to, first of all, take stock of local migration strategies or initiatives in place and identify good practices as well as areas that could be further developed. Secondly, to foster the dialogue on migration between the national government and local authorities. And thirdly, enable local authorities to learn from one another by discussing common challenges and identify potential solutions.
When completed, the IOM Chief of Mission said the findings will help municipalities and local authorities to innovate and develop pragmatic solutions that can have a positive impact at local and national level.
To date, 50 local jurisdictions have embarked in this process, including states, provinces, cities, and municipalities. In the continent, 13 cities in Ghana, Kenya, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and now the Gambia are taking part in these assessments to better understand the comprehensiveness of their migration management frameworks.
Talib Ahmed Bensouda, the Lord Mayor of KMC, underscored the importance of collaborating with IOM.
In July of this year, my office received a letter from IOM inviting us to roll out the Migration Governance Indicators Initiative. Knowing how passionate I am to find solutions to issues affecting our youth, I requested the Office of the CEO to register interest in taking part in this process to be conducted by IOM and the Economist Intelligence Unit. It is clear that the biggest asset of our municipality is our young people. The passion to deliver change in our city has to be supported. One of the many ways to achieve this is to provide the enabling environment, both on a national and local level, to allow young people to stay home and contribute to our economic growth.
Mayor Bensouda added that the question of how we confront the benefits and challenges of migration should be of interest to all.
We understand that the local MGI process is aimed at assisting local authorities to assess the comprehensiveness of their migration policies, strategies, and initiatives. As a council, we are hopeful that this process will help us to take stock of the migration initiatives, assess our strengths and weaknesses, so as to lead us to design effective policies that will help address migration challenges in our municipality.
The migration governance indicators are standard sets of approximately 90 indicators to assist countries to assess their migration policies and determine what constitutes well-governed migration. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
From that story by Babu Karsi on IOM's performance indicators in the KMC, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we return, we have some more local and international news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Q City New Year's Eve Gala. It's the time of the year again. Time to end it with a bang and in style. Join our annual New Year's Eve feast in a breathtaking environment with the amazing Keba Taylor Band and the exceptional Bud Hammer, the man with the golden voice. And to top it all, the jaw-dropping fireworks at midnight to celebrate the beginning of a rocking new year filled with all the happiness in the world. Celebrate and make New Year's resolutions with family and loved ones at Q City. Tickets are only $3,500 for individual and $2,000 for children 12 and under, and a 10% discount for every table of 10. Call 33-72489 or 33-00056 for more info. Q City New Year's Eve Gala. Cheers to the good life that awaits us all.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, teenage pregnancy is a serious issue that negatively impacts the future of the girls affected, as many of them drop out of school as a result. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde spoke to various people about its impact on schoolgirls. This is what he found.
Teenage pregnancy. We are referring to girls aged between 13 and 19. Studies have found that the contributory factors are many and include poverty, low educational status, poor quality and access to reproductive health information and service, peer influence, tradition and culture. Ajay Cham, a parent, says early childbearing could lead to serious health complications for the pregnant girl and put a great burden on parents.
When you are not fit to bear a child and you happen to get pregnant, in most cases, you can lose your life or that of their babies, and that can be a burden on their families. When the girl gets pregnant and the person refuses to take responsibility for the pregnancy, that can be hard for the family because they have to take care of the mother's feeding and that of the baby.
Binta Oba, a gender activist, outlines the difficulties young girls face during pregnancy. She says girls need to be enlightened and taught about their moral and social responsibilities.
We can achieve so many things when we are working towards our education. Because imagine you are not serious with your education, you go out, like having affairs with boys. At the end of the day, it's even difficult for some people to tell you who get them pregnant at the end of the day. And you become a dropout because you cannot be breastfeeding, being a mother of a child, at the same time going to school. That means like your education is where it's going to stop.
And mention some of the ways teenage pregnancy affects young girls.
The health complications behind it is very risky because we see many teenagers, when they go to labor, they cannot make it at the end of the day because their body system is not physically fit and is not matured enough to put to bed.
Noureddin Baji, the vice principal of Soma Upper and Senior Secondary School, explained how teenage pregnancy affects schoolgirls.
If this happened to a child, she must stay at home until the end of the 9 months. So that can even lead them to be dropouts and they may not be able to continue with their educational career. Another thing is it may affect their health also because most of them are teenagers. And then if you look at their systems, they are not that fit to take the mentality or psychologically they might be affected.
He outlines the steps taken by schools to sensitize students and parents.
We do sensitizations to the children. We also sometimes call a PTA meeting and have discussions with the parents to help us, to help the children at home also. Helping the children means they're helping the teachers also. Not only the teachers can able to do it.
Mariama Jane, a student, has this advice for her fellow school-going girls.
What I will advise to my fellow students is that let them concentrate on their education. Education is something that you know that is just for a short period of time and then you will be done with it. Whatsoever you want to do, you can do it after when you are done with your education.
According to statistics, every year approximately 7.3 million girls globally under 18 give birth. Equally, in those countries where there is extensive reproductive health information and support services, teenage pregnancy rates are low. For QTV News, I am Bakar Balde.
Now, applying makeup on the face makes people look beautiful. It has become a fashion loved by many, especially women and girls. Zainab Haidaru looks at how makeup artists are faring in the profession.
Research shows there are two primary reasons why women wear makeup: camouflage or seduction. When women are anxious and insecure, use makeup to appear less noticeable, and women who want to be noticeably more attractive use makeup to be more confident, sociable, and assertive. In the Gambia, people, especially women, apply makeup to attend ceremonial events, when going to work, and for other reasons. Some apply it by themselves, while others visit a makeup studio to have it done by professionals. Whatever the reason for wearing makeup, it seems to be a thriving business. Kadi Lee, an entrepreneur and a teacher at SAS Cosmetology, explains that makeup contributes a lot in beautifying people. However, she says, one must be mindful of the products used.
Because we have a lot of different skins, which we taught here. Some people have a sensitive skin, so you cannot just come and put a makeup on it or a foundation, they will get allergic to it. So if you get the skin ready by prepping the skin, using the cleanser, the toner, and the moisturizer, you're setting the skin for makeup.
Aji Ami Jame, a student of the University of the Gambia and makeup artist, says she established a makeup studio to be able to pay for her education.
The makeup is my passion. I love doing it. It makes me happy. So doing makeup and doing school is honestly challenging, both physically and mentally. But the determination and support I have is what is taking me. Because currently I'm in my final semester studying economics, and it's really not easy, but I can say I did it because I'm almost done. And the makeup has been something that has been supporting me financially as well.
Victor Wisdom, also a makeup artist, says despite the challenges he faces as a makeup artist, he still wants to continue his makeup career.
So apparently there are a lot of female in Gambia here that are into makeup, how do you call it, yeah, this makeup industry. So I decided to just go into it as a male because there are not much male makeup artists in Gambia. So by doing so, I decided to do something different. Maybe I'll be able to inspire more guys out there.
A lot of young people are venturing into makeup, not just for beautification, but to gain financially in establishing their own businesses, paying for their own schools, and of course, for family purposes. In the 90s and the 80s, we have seen people use makeup for face painting on ceremonial events and festivals. But in the 21st century, it's a different case. So determination leads the world not only in education, but in every aspect of creativity and passion. You have seen all what these young, energetic, and enthusiastic entrepreneurs have just said. For QTV News, I am Zainab Haidara.
Now, a lack of physical activity can have negative effects on one's health, well-being and quality of life. Fatusi Sanyang visited some gyms to find out why people visit gyms to exercise.
Physical exercise can improve one's health by reducing the risks of developing various severe diseases, improve brain health and weight management, among other benefits. Physical exercise should be coupled with proper nutrition and a healthy diet. Babakar Job, commonly known as Mbai, says that the importance of exercising cannot be overemphasized.
Train lu muna def sa yaram bi mom rek ko muna def sa yaram bi du garab du medicine du dara bu muna replace li train di def sa yaram bi doomi adama.
What exercise can do for the body, nothing else can do, not even medicines. Exercise is very good, especially going to the gym, which is an enclosed area. It doesn't matter how cold or hot the weather. You will sweat whilst doing exercise. Sweating alone removes a lot from the body.
Aliu Juve, a trainee who joined the gym 3 years ago, has this to say.
Wow, it's not a lot of things like February.
I have seen a lot of changes since coming to the gym. You hardly get minor illnesses. Exercise also keep one from aging early. I have really seen many changes.
Ibrahima Freeman, an aerobics trainer for more than 2 decades, advises people to do some form of exercises to stay healthy.
Diet is very, very important. Te suma rew dal luñ gëm ne moy lekk bu baax moy na toy.
Diet is very important. In my country, they believe that delicious foods should be oily. Eating benachin or domoda until your belly is full and drink cold water makes some people feel that they are enjoying, whilst you are killing yourself. Domoda is healthy, but the way we overtreat it is very bad. Domoda takes 8 hours to digest, and overtreating this kind of food is unhealthy. My advice to old men is that, since some people cannot afford going to the gym, just regularly take a long walk.
Fatou Cissé, a former air attendant, now a gym instructor, encourages people, especially women, to exercise because it makes women age better.
It's vast. It's like really, really vast. People tend to come to the gym a lot about aesthetics. They want to lose weight or they want to gain weight. But we tend to forget the health benefits of just working out. Right? So working out in general, even gym specifically, you have so many things you can do, but there are so many things we can do in our homes as well. And even outside of the homes, workout in general will improve your health quality. It helps you age better, right? And when you work out, you have this feel-good hormone that's released, like you've accomplished something. You feel better, but also it improves your chances of not getting cardiovascular diseases.
The World Health Organization recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity per week, or a combination of both for adults 18 to 64 years. Speaking to various people, it seems the message is clear. Sensible exercise is good for your health. For QTV News, I am Fatousi Sanyang.
From that story by Fatousi Sanyang, now we will take a look at news beyond our borders. Malawi's health minister has announced that COVID-19 vaccines will be mandatory for key staff, including health workers and journalists from January. Alusise has the rest of that.
Health Minister Kumbis Kandodo Chimpande said the government is trying to boost its vaccination campaign amid a spike in cases. According to the Health Ministry, uptake of vaccines has not been high enough towards reaching its goal of vaccinating at least 60% of eligible Malawians by the end of next year. The vaccine remains our best preventive tool, Minister Chimpanda was quoted by Reuters agency as saying. According to Reuters, official statistics show about 641,000 people are fully vaccinated in Malawi, amounting to just over 3% of the population. The Southern African nation has seen a spike in daily COVID infections, with 318 new cases reported this week compared to less than 20 on most days in recent weeks, it adds. The Omicron variant was discovered in the country last week. According to the latest COVID statistics tweeted by Malawi's Health Ministry on December 15, there were 318 new cases, 62,933 confirmed cases, 59,000 recovery, 2,310 deaths, and 1,391 active cases. Many African countries have renewed their COVID-19 awareness raising and vaccination after the emergence of the Omicron variant in South Africa, which is already circulating in many countries. South African health officials say fewer people infected with the Omicron variant of coronavirus appear to die or require hospital treatment than in earlier waves of the disease. Health Minister Joe Fowler said the data did not mean that Omicron was less virulent, but rather that vaccines were preventing serious illness. South Africa has recorded record levels of infections this week, mainly as a result of the spread of the new variant. Health ministers from the G7 countries have called for international cooperation in the face of Omicron, saying it is the biggest current threat to global public health. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
From that story by Aliou Cisse, it seems that is all we have time for. Join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Have a great weekend.